Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Sophie and I'm here with Crimson Canvas Arts today to teach you how to make a painting of everybody's favorite food group, vegetables. So this is what our final project is going to look like today. We're going to draw 5 different root vegetables for our picture: carrots, garlic, potatoes, onion, and beets. Obviously there's lots of other root vegetables out there, and if you want to draw a different one, you certainly can. There's taro, there's yams, turmeric, ginger, all kinds of good stuff. So if you want to swap out one of these root vegetables for a different one, you are welcome to do that. But for today, we're going to focus on these 5. So root vegetables are vegetables that grow underground. So what we're going to do for our picture today is we're going to create a cross section. So a cross section means when you're looking at something as if you cut through the middle. So for our project, we will draw it as if you cut through the ground so that you can see both the vegetables growing underground and the leafy tops up above ground. Here's what we'll need for today's lesson. First, we'll need a piece of watercolor paper. This piece of paper needs to be pretty big because we have a lot of details to draw. So I would recommend having something about 9 by 12 for your paper. Then we'll also need a pencil and eraser, a permanent marker, and we'll need a set of watercolors. For this, I would recommend having one small paintbrush and a big paintbrush to use to paint small and big areas on our picture. And then of course we need a cup of water to use for our watercolors. Alright, so for our first step, we're going to draw the horizon line, which is the line that separates the ground from the sky. So we're going to draw this about in the middle of our page. We're going to make our line a little bit wiggly. We don't want it to be perfectly straight. So I'm just going to draw a line going across the middle there. And it's alright if it's a little bit bumpy. This is going to be the dirt down below. And dirt is not usually perfectly flat, so we want that to be a little bit wiggly on top. Then up above, we'll have the sky up there. So the first vegetable I'm going to draw is a carrot. For this one, I'm going to make a kind of rounded top and then a long, skinny body for the carrot. So it's basically like a triangle, but the end on actually both sides is going to be a little bit rounded. Then I'll just add in a couple lines on my carrot to give it some texture, like that. And then I'll draw the top of my carrot. So carrots have kind of long shoots that end in big leafy parts on the top. So I'll start by just drawing couple lines coming out of the top, and then I'm going to draw kind of like a cloud shape on top for those leaves. So that's my carrot. I can go ahead and label it below. Next up, I'm going to draw the garlic. When I'm doing this, I need to make sure that I'm going to save enough room for my other vegetables. So I'm doing 5 vegetables, so I want to try and use about 1/5 of the page for each one. So I'm going to do my garlic next. So it's a bulb shape and the bottom of the bulb is wider than the top part. And then garlic comes in lots of sections. So I'm just going to draw a couple lines going in the middle to separate it into some sections. Then I'm going to draw the stalk coming out of the top. So for garlic, it comes out in pretty much one shoot, but then it separates into a couple different pieces, like that. Excellent, so that's my garlic. I can go ahead and label that too. Up next, I'm going to draw my potatoes. So for the potatoes, they grow in clumps. They grow a couple per plant. So I'm just going to draw a couple kind of oval shapes. And potatoes are kind of lumpy vegetables, so it's okay if these shapes are a little bit lumpy too. I'm gonna draw 3 for mine, but again, you can draw as many as you want for yours. Then I'm gonna draw some little shapes on my potatoes. These are called the eyes, the little speckles or the little texture that you see on potatoes. So I'm just going to draw a couple kind of blob shapes on my potatoes to give them that texture. So for the stalk, we're going to draw just a couple lines coming out, and then I'm going to separate it into a couple different pieces, kind of like the garlic, but potatoes are nice and leafy on top, so I'm going to draw some leaves coming out, and then it's going to look quite different than the garlic. So now that I've got some stalks coming out, I'm just going to go in and draw some nice leaves. And for the leaves, I'm going to make them kind of rounded on one end and a little bit pointy on the other. Great. Then I'm going to draw the veins inside the leaves. So that's just those little lines that you see inside of the leaves. There we go, and now I'm done with my potato, so I'll label that as well. Alright, next up, let's do the onion. So the onion is going to look a lot like the garlic, but it's bigger than the garlic is. And it's a little bit more rounded. And usually it has a little extra piece down here, just kind of like adding a little rectangle to the bottom. That's where the roots are going to come out. And then for the stalk, I'm going to draw some kind of rectangle shapes coming out. And I'm going to just make them kind of varying heights, like this. There we go, and that's my onion, so I'll label that one too. And then the last one I'll draw is the beet. So beets kind of look like the opposite of the onion, where they're round on the top and then they kind of end in a point down at the bottom. There we go. Then for the leaves, the leaf of the beets start kind of straight but then turn into kind of more rougher shapes, a little bit like the carrot. So I'm going to make a kind of leafy part for the top, and I'll just draw in a couple more leaves like this. You can see I'm making it so that they overlap with one another. There we go, and now I have my beet. So I'll label that one as well. Once I'm all done with that, then I just need to draw the roots of the root vegetables to make it look like they're growing underground. So on each one, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add some kind of wiggly lines that split off. They can split off into 1 or 2 or even 3, just like this, to make it look like my vegetables are growing underground. Once I have all my vegetables drawn and labeled, I'm going to go in with a black permanent marker and trace over everything. Once you have everything traced with your permanent marker, then it's time to go in with the watercolor and color everything in. So in terms of colors, our carrot is obviously going to be orange, the garlic is going to be white, the potatoes are brown, the onion is also going to be white, or you could also make it kind of a yellowish shape as well. And then our beet, of course, is going to be red. Then for the tops, we're going to make those green. You can make them any kind of green really you would like. For the potato, I'll make sure to make the branch part brown and then the leaves green. So you can see now I've filled in all of the vegetables, so now it is time to fill in the background. Once you've finished coloring everything in, then you are all done with your project. Thank you everyone for watching our video today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson as much as I did. If you like how your project turned out, please tag us on Facebook or on Instagram with a photo because we love to see what everyone creates. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.